Thanks for tuning in. In this segment, I'm going to show you how to quickly and efficiently accent your projects with different thicknesses of pavers. But before we get into that, I think it's important that we address the question of why we even have pavers of different thicknesses. Why can't we just make them all the same, make your lives easy? Well, the answer really comes down to multiple different factors. When we're designing a paver, we look at multiple things from the texture, the color, the overall size and shape, and ultimately we look at the application. So let's take Town Hall as an example. This is a paver that the molds were cast from actual historic street bricks from Chicago. So the design intent with this product is for it to be used in vehicular applications such as driveways, roadways, alleyways, crosswalks. It doesn't mean that it can't also be used in a residential pedestrian application. You can always take a paver that's created for a higher load application and utilize it in a lighter load application. But the case is not always true if you flip it around. When we talk about the aspect ratio, what we're really talking about is a guide to help us determine where something can be utilized or where it shouldn't be utilized. Aspect ratio is just a number to give us a range and an idea. Simply put, the aspect ratio is the longest length divided by the thickness of the paver. So Town Hall, for example, at 7 centimeters thick is capable to handle vehicular traffic, whereas at 6 centimeters thick would have limitations and you wouldn't be able to use it in the areas it's intended to be utilized in. On the other side, if we look at Beacon Hill, which is what I have here that I'm standing on, one of our most commonly installed products, we manufacture this at 6 centimeters thick. We do this so that we keep the cost down to you and the end user while also maintaining the strength and durability needed for transportation, job site handling, proper compaction, and overall project longevity. If we were to make this paver 5 centimeters thick, it would still work in this application and you'd have some cost savings, but you'd experience more breakage in transportation and handling and compaction, and ultimately it would probably be a wash. On the flip side, if we make this 7 centimeters thick, it's still not going to be vehicular rated. So 6 centimeters is the sweet spot for a product like Beacon Hill. So in this photo here, you can see that this project is a Beacon Hill project and it's accented with a 7 centimeter thick Town Hall product. Now that we're talking about why we have different products of different thicknesses and why we design them that way, let's talk about why you should think about incorporating a 7 centimeter paver, for example, with a 6 centimeter paver. And I'm going to use Beacon Hill again. It's one of the most commonly requested products for samples. And often when I drop off samples, I offer to bring multiple border options so that the homeowner or the client can pick whatever is going to work best for that project that they're trying to design. But a lot of times I hear from the contractor, just bring me products that are the same thickness as Beacon Hill. And while I think Copthorne and Beacon Hill is a great combination, a lot of our unique textures and finishes are only made in 7 centimeter products. So if you're limiting yourself to the same thickness as Beacon Hill, you're really limiting the options for yourself and for the end user with that specific product. So to help make this easy and efficient for you, because I understand there's challenges when you start mixing different thicknesses of products, and I don't want your crew to look at it like it's more difficult. I don't want it to slow them down. We want this to be a quick, easy thing for your guys to be able to do out in the field. So in order to do that, I've taken this 1x6 board. This is just a basic scrap piece of lumber right here. And by simply notching this out to whatever thickness I need for a paver, spray painting it so it no longer looks like a board or a scrap piece of wood, it actually starts to look like a tool. For the purpose of this demonstration, I've gone so far as to label this and name it. Now, I had some assistance from my son. Talking to my 10-year-old son about this when I was in the garage, cutting out the notch, and I told him, this is the Border Boss. It's a tool to help contractors install different thicknesses of pavers on job sites. And he says, Dad, a boss doesn't sound very helpful. I think it needs to be a buddy. So we've got a couple different versions of the Border Buddy, thanks to my son. So we've got a 6 centimeter, so if you're going from a 7 centimeter field to a 6 centimeter product, very easy to screed with this one. On the other side, we've got a 7 centimeter Border Buddy. That's gonna allow you to go from Beacon Hill to, say, a Brussels border. I even went so far as to make one that's kind of like a Swiss Army knife. It's got both on one. You throw that in the trailer. It's always within arm's reach on the job site. Makes it very easy to be able to just screed for that border in that application. The other thing you could do is these are going to be totally customizable to whatever you need. It's just a 1x6 board, very inexpensive. Spray paint's inexpensive. So if you're a contractor that does a lot of driveway ribbons, maybe you make a longer one and you put this notch so that you can screed right off of that concrete and one screed rail for your driveway ribbon. Same thing with your raised patio. You set your wall, you build your wall, you set your coping. One screed rail right off your coping, you can screed with a longer version of this and now you're ready to lay pavers. So now I'm going to get into actually showing you what this is going to look like. And I think an important thing to point out with this is when you're going to use different thickness pavers, you got to figure out where am I going to start with my bedding layer. You have to ultimately determine where do I want this finished grade to fall based on your field paver. And then from there, that's going to help you determine how to set your bedding layer. So you're always going to set it from your field paver, not your different accent pavers. So here we've got 6 centimeter Beacon Hill, primarily in a 2NS or a sharp sand bedding layer. And I've also got it in a chipstone, permeable number 8, number 9 style aggregate. So I'm going to show you that this will work in both. So I'm going to start, I'm at a 6 centimeter now. I want to go to 7 centimeters to add a Brussels border. So I'm simply going to take this tool, I'm going to rest this notch on the face of my pavers, and I'm just going to screed back just like you'd screed anything else. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you're doing this is often your border, your accents, they're going to compact at a little bit different rate than your field pavers based on the size and scale. A larger surface area product is going to compact to a smaller degree than a smaller product. So it's a good idea when you're screeding for this Brussels border to screed it about an 1/8 inch higher than what your Beacon Hill is. And that can be done in how you notch this, or maybe you add a spacer to it. Maybe you just use your finger to hold it up and guide it. But now I'm ready to lay in my Brussels border with this. And you can see here, nice and flush, maybe just slightly over the height of my Beacon Hill to allow for that 1/8 inch of extra compaction because they're a small paver. We'll add a few more here to kind of finish off this row. Now, I want to take this a step further, and I'm going to go back to 6 centimeters thick for a 𝐸𝐸 thorn border. So now I'm simply going to use my 6 centimeter border buddy. Now when I'm screeding off the Brussels and the 𝐸𝐸 thorn are going to compact at about the same rate. So I'm not really worried about keeping this higher than my Brussels. We've already achieved that with the screed from our Beacon Hill to our Brussels. Now, I'm ready for my 𝐸𝐸 thorn. All right, now I'm going to take it even one step further. I'm going to go back to 7 centimeter Brussels to finish it off. And now you can see we've gone from a 6 centimeter field to a 7 centimeter accent, 6 centimeter accent, 7 centimeter accent. Very quickly, very easily, with essentially just a 1x6 piece of lumber that we've notched. Now, I'll have people tell me when I show them this, yeah, that's great, but permeable aggregates have really caught on. And that's what I've been using for my bedding layer. I typically use a number 9 stone, and it's not gonna work that well in a number 9. And while there's some truth to that, it will work in a number 9. Number 9 doesn't screed quite as cleanly and easily as a 2NS bedding layer, but I want to show you that it's not that difficult to do this within number 9 chipstone also. And there you have it. So hopefully this showed you how easy it can be to incorporate different border options into your projects. And next time you have a Beacon Hill project, I challenge you to not get stuck into that, oh, 𝐸𝐸 thorn works great, it's the same thickness, I'm just gonna use that. Look at products like our Town Hall or Tribeca Cobble, one of our most underutilized products that we have with a really unique washed finish. 𝐠𝐫𝐞𝐴𝐸 or 𝐜𝐵𝐿 Compo or even Matoni. Lots of great options. look at those 7 centimeter products and make yourself a border buddy. Thank you.